Hey guys, thank you for joining us for another episode of the One Podcast. We're glad that you are here with us today, and we can't wait for this episode. So today we have two special guest speakers, and I'll leave it up to Isaac to introduce them and give them the round of applause that they deserve.
Yeah, guys, so pretty much our two guests will be Jonathan, JB, and then we're going to have Joseph, JR. Give it up for JR. So,
Thank you.
Right, we're about to get into.
So how are you guys feeling? Say a little bit about yourselves, help the people understand who you are. I mean, we know you, but do they know you?
Right, yeah. They do not. I mean,
who wants to go first? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot? Like, what we doing?
Shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
You're doing it wrong. So you won. So you go first.
I go first?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. Okay. So, boom, my name is Jonathan, but everyone calls me JB. I grew up in church, since 3 months old, just been in church. And my testimony, I don't think is too crazy. I just, grew up in a great home, neutral home, mom, dad, brother. And, I've been in church all my life. But luckily, it was never forced on me. This whole faith thing was never, thrown onto me. I know, friends who have been forced to go to church, and it's been the result from that parent was the opposite. End up not wanting to go now. All of a sudden, you barely see them now. But for me, it's so weird. Mom would just iron out the clothes, and me and my brother, we would just be out. We never argued about why we got to go to church. We never had a back and forth about it. We just went, and eventually we made it our own now, where we serve out of our just out of love for God.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Okay. Well, my name is Joseph, otherwise known as JR.
JR?
Yeah. So when it comes to my testimony, it's nothing too crazy. I grew up Catholic, or I had the title of Catholic, because I didn't know any better. I didn't really know God, really, growing up. I believed in God, but I didn't believe this whole religion sort of thing. And then back in 2022, I was going through a really kind of rough time in my life. Just extremely depressed. Had worse thoughts. You guys could probably imagine what that would be. But yeah. And then I also had this battle of because I hadn't been in a romantic relationship at that point. So I was also kind of battling self-identity issues and stuff like that. And then one day I was just even though I'm Catholic, let me just try this Christianity thing out. I ended up watching, there's this Netflix movie, I believe it's called Father Stew, I believe it's called. It has Mark Wahlberg in it.
Father who?
Father Stew.
Nah.
No.
Listen,
forgive me.
You putting people onto movies now.
Yeah. I mean, forgive me if I mess up the movie, but it had Mark Wahlberg in it. And it was kind of my first real I guess experience watching what being a Christian is even though it's of the Catholic faith.
Yeah.
And I would just watch I don't remember much in the movie because I haven't watched it since the first time I watched it. But essentially there's this boxer who is living a pretty sinful life. And then he becomes a Catholic to basically impress this girl. And then as his faith with God grew, he actually became a priest, and he kind of let her go essentially. Mm-hmm. And then the rest of the movie kind of talks about his struggles with being a priest, his struggle with having a relationship with God, probably most of us have. And it really just kind of just taught me about how even though our relationship with God might be hard, you just kind of have to see things through sometimes. Even there's been a lot of times in my life where it's just, I thought this was the hardest thing. I never thought things would get better, but because I just continued to see things through, I was able to persevere. So nonetheless, that's a summary of the movie. And yeah. So I tried this Christianity thing out, I've when I first started, it wasn't as like, I wasn't as serious, I'll be honest. But probably at the start of this year, I started going to church, Generations Church.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for welcoming me with the open arms. I'll be honest, it was my second church that I went to, and like everybody was like so like the hospitality was nice. Like everyone was just like so nice to me and sociable. So and you guys have definitely helped with like my relationship with God. So I appreciate y'all. So that's my testimony, and I'm 22 years old, by the way.
Woo.
Man, how old are you, dude?
I'm 25.
He's old.
Aye.
But thank you guys for introducing yourselves, letting them know a little bit about you. So, what are we talking about? You guys said you had something cooking. Something on the pot, cooking.
A little something.
Cooking up. What we cooking up?
You want me to go?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
So we're still on the topic of Bible people.
What's your story? That's our serious story.
Okay. And somebody who I really relate to in the Bible is Job. For those who don't really know the story of Job, basically Job is like this very like wealthy man. I'm pretty sure God calls him like a blameless, upright man.
Yep.
And back then you were like very like wealthy by like possessions. He had a lot of animals, a lot of servants, and he was still like very giving of his material, his food, his time, and whatever. But like on a random day, Satan comes up to God, and he's just like looking for trouble. Really, like he may have not said that, but that was really his intention.
That's a fact.
And then God randomly was just like, well, how about my servant Job? Like,
Right.
like how about him?
Like, dang, God, you gonna offer me?
Anybody else, God? I didn't want to
Recommend?
Yeah, and
Yeah, word.
and so he's like, how about my servant Job? And basically, the only stipulation that God gave him when it came to like having control of Job's life was like basically just don't forsake him, don't don't make him die. Basically.
Don't like kill him.
Yeah. So after that goes down, Job pretty much loses everything in his life. He loses his kids. He loses all of his wealth.
Yeah.
He even loses his health. He's not in very like stable condition.
Yeah.
The only things that
He got that stage 4.
Oh.
No, but think about that though. Like everything else perished.
Yeah.
But Job, I mean, he was a little shaky on it.
Yeah.
He was a little shaky, but he's still standing. That's great.
Yeah. The only things that he kept were his wife and his friends, because in a marital relationship, the man and woman become one. So.
Yeah.
So he pretty much loses everything, and he's at this point where he's like, oh my goodness, like God, like I've done like all of these like things in my life, like all of these good works, like why are you punishing me?
Mm-hmm.
And then even this is crazy to say, but even his own wife was telling
She was like,
he was telling him to curse God.
If you don't curse this God out, we gonna have a problem.
What, bro? He created you. What are you talking about? Somehow.
Yeah.
That's what he said. He was like, what are you chatting about?
Yeah.
Woman, what are you chatting about right now?
Like,
Go
Literally.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
anyway, so and then later on in the story, his Job's friends come over, and they're having like this like little intervention, pretty much, and like I guess to like summarize it a little bit, like Job's friends were pretty much like alluding to Job, like you must be sinning in some way, like that, like that's how God is, like that's why God's punishing you. And then after like all of them are pretty much yapping, like it's
chapters upon chapters of them just yapping back and forth. Job's friend's response, whole chapter. Job's response. Job's other friend response.
And he's not even getting better either. Like Job's mentality is going down.
Yeah, it's like Job is like, you know what?
True.
He's
I'm
genuinely
done.
debating
Yeah.
to curse God out. He's like, I've done such good. Why the heck is it happening?
And I'm like, yeah, you're definitely sinning. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but you're sinning.
Admit that you sinned.
Yeah,
Yeah.
admit that you
Confess.
sinned.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, and then I don't know. I believe it was like his cousin came like later on in the chapter and was like being, like the way I viewed it, he was like just like trying to be the smart one, like someone who had like a different point of view, and he felt like he was not like the right person in the conversation, but he kind of like tried to talk some sense into it. That didn't work. But then God the Father himself presented him to Job and everybody else, and he was basically like, you guys are just saying a bunch of gibberish. Like,
Like a fire tornado he presented himself, I think.
Yeah.
And then he tried to like teach Job a lesson. Like all of this good works like means nothing to me. And like until you admit like all these good works are basically in vain, like you know, you're gonna like stay like this. And then Job eventually confessed, you know, that all of his good works were, you know, not the real way to get into a relationship with God and to be loved by God.
Yeah.
And but because of Job's obedience, God doubled what he had before he lost everything. Like every single number that of animals that he had doubled.
Yeah.
All this, like God gave him beautiful children as well. I'm pretty sure like that was doubled as well. So yeah, I think what that book really taught me was like you can't earn and you can't have a relationship with God when it comes to just works.
Yeah.
You know, it's like having a real relationship with God is about having faith.
Yeah.
You know, and like Jesus wasn't, you know, like this is the Old Testament, so you know Jesus wasn't really around, but still the idea of like having faith in God was still the main way that we have to God. So so yeah, that's kind of my answer.
I mean, there was also like a little kid, not a little kid, but he was like one of the younger ones.
Yes.
Came to Job.
Yeah. I think that's what I was talking about.
Yeah. He was like, oh, that was his. Oh yeah.
I don't know the family lineage.
I haven't read it in a while. I'm not gonna lie.
It wasn't. I don't think it was mentioned like the family lineage, but it was like he was the youngest one, and God was he's the only guy. I think he was like only.
But he was his like shepherd boy.
I remember. Not gonna lie.
Because he was the one that somebody was telling him that what was happening. There was somebody outside of his wife and his friends that were there. I don't. You guys, you know, you can help us out in the comments.
Yeah, in the comment section, put it down below.
Let me get the word out.
Oh, yes,
but while he's getting the word out, I think something that stood out about like you picking Job, as we were like joking about confessions, but that's what Catholicism is all about.
Yeah,
it's all about, you know, your way of going to God is knowing that you're a sinner, going into like the little, I don't know what it's called, the confessional. The confessional. And like telling the priest everything, and then the priest is like, "Okay, I'm gonna pray for you, and you're gonna be saved. Come back next with your stuff." And it's kind of how we talked about, like, that's not what God wants. He doesn't want you to just be comfortable with sinning, confessing it, and then going back to it.
Yeah.
And so I think it's interesting that you mentioned Catholicism, because the priest, like Job's friends, like that's kind of what they were doing. They were like, here's your confessional box. Let it go. Let us know. Like, you know, we're your friends. Like, let us know what's been going on. Let us know if you've been sinning. Like, we won't say anything. We'll pray for you. And God we'll talk to God for you. But that's not the point. Like you said, like, our walk is about having faith. It's about actually talking to God. It's not about what we do. It's not about how well we do it. It's about our connection with God. So I think that being your, like, background, and like how Job's story kind of pans out, because it's all about they're doing like the whole like 16 chapters of them just yapping. It's really about confess, right. As if they know what he's doing. But like when you start the book of Job, it says from the start that he was a blameless, righteous man. So you know what I mean?
It's crazy that like God, like out of all the guys in the Bible, you hear about David being like the man for God's own heart. Like God said, this man is blameless.
Yeah.
It's like no one
gets that title.
That's crazy.
But Job.
Yeah, and one thing to add on to is like I guess so like in like human relationships, like the way I try to view it is like it's almost like if I had my wife, right? Like I can't earn my wife's love through like just giving her flowers all the
Right.
time,
Yeah.
or just like just or doing the dishes, or
Yeah, or even just saying
yeah,
that.
or yeah, too. It's like that's like you're not supposed to like that's not love. Like that's just yeah.
Just things trying to show that you love, but
I mean like you are loving her in a way, but it's not like if you have to earn someone's love through action and doing good works, then that's not love.
I think it's like kind of what you're saying. Like, there's 5 love languages.
Yeah.
But like that's how you can like that's kind of like how like they may like this a little bit more. Like that may make them feel loved the most. But you shouldn't have to. It's like a thing of like you shouldn't have to rely. Like that person shouldn't have to rely on you doing that to know that you love them. Yeah. Like they should just know. It's kind of like the thing like that. Like you shouldn't have to rely on you doing good and you serving. Like for God to know that you love Him. Like He should just know that you love Him and like you know what I mean? Like yeah.
Because it's like we get God's love like it's a gift. It's not really.
It's a gift.
You can't really earn it.
Yeah.
And Job's over here thinking, I'm earning it, and I've been earned it. But God's like, that's not what my love is like.
Yeah, and then one more thing, like before I became a Christian, like I had this like weird idea. Like I've had like great relationships in my life when it comes to friends, family, and like for some reason like the devil was still in my life back then, and like he was trying to like convince me like I didn't deserve the friends that I had, because like Job, I was a yapper. I had I would just constantly tell my friends my problems, like just dumping things, and I thank every single one of my friends for enduring all those conversations. But like there's a point in time where I would just like think like, oh my goodness, like I feel like I don't deserve my friends. Like I feel like I'm just like a burden. But after becoming a Christian, I learned that love is not earned, love is given.
It is.
And like Jesus died on the cross to like not get something out of us, but because He saw that we were sinning and He realized that we needed salvation.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. What's that scripture? It's like Hebrews. Is it 2:1? Where it's talking about like how like He died so that we can like go to Him. Like He died for us.
I think that might be 1 John.
You read it like last month.
Yesterday?
No, not yesterday.
Oh, okay.
No, not yesterday.
No, you sure?
It was last.
Nah, I mean the scripture that comes to my mind. Yeah, here's the word.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, yes, we had right.
Here. I'll go to Hebrews for you. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Scroll down.
No, let me just do
This is New Age Christianity, guys.
Oh, not New Age. Hold on now.
No, not New Age.
I have a Bible at home. Don't play.
Because New Age is like, if y'all don't know, New Age is like witchcraft. Not witchcraft. I don't know.
It's
Okay. I wasn't meaning that, guys. That was not my intention behind it.
No, but
I appreciate the disclaimer, but that was not my intention, guys.
Ooh, hold on.
You're done.
The scripture that comes to my mind is Romans 8:1, and it's talking about. It is.
There's no longer condemnation.
Yeah, there is now no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus.
Yes.
And it's just like, all right. So I kind of I resonate with what you're talking about, because oftentimes I'm sitting here thinking, Lord, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. I feel like I'm a bad Christian if I'm not spreading your word every day. I'm sitting here walking, and I'm like, look at those people on the street. Like, what am I doing? Am I a terrible Christian for not preaching to them? And that scripture helped me, because it's like, you're free. Like, you're not going to be labeled a bad Christian by God because you don't do works.
Yeah.
Like, you're free anyway. And so I think that also resonates with Job's story, because it's like Job is sitting here thinking, I've done so much good. Why am I being punished?
Right.
When he didn't change his perspective. And maybe it's not you being punished. Maybe it's just God showing His glory. Or maybe it's just like God taking you through a season.
Right.
And I think a lot of us have that mindset. We think like, we haven't done work, so why would God give us anything? Or like we think we're good, so we go to church. Jesus bless me, But in reality, it's really just like, where's that relationship?
Yeah.
I found it.
You found it?
Alright. So, okay. Hebrews 13:12-14. So also Jesus suffered and died outside the city gates to make his people holy by means of his own blood. So let us go out to him outside the camp and bear the disgrace he bore. For this world is not our permanent home. We are looking forward at a home yet to come. And I don't know why, but that came to my mind because like you're saying, like our work is practically nothing.
Mm-hmm.
If our heart's not in it, our work is nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And like what God did, like he did not sin. He was blameless, he was perfect. But still he took on our sin and our shame and died for us.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like the love that we need to have. Like they're saying, like go out into the city, like wear that shame, wear what he just died for, because that's truly what we're walking. Not in the sense of like you should be like in a posture of like being slouched down or like inconfident, but like kind of like standing upright, like walking in it, like knowing that this is like the cross that you have to bear. This is the cross that you have to take with you. But like also knowing that he's there with you. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, this makes sense. Praise God.
Even when like.
Wait, did you figure out who the little boy was?
Oh, like the younger one?
Yeah, I got y'all. Hold on.
It was like Elihu.
I don't think it's anything about family. When he's like his friends and all that.
What is he talking about?
I will never know how to pronounce. Wait, hold on. Let's listen to the
32. So these three men ceased to answer Job because he was righteous in his own eyes.
Why someone that?
Then Elihu the son.
Oh, I was close.
Elihu.
I was close.
You were close.
I was close.
Can we get big names?
Can I? Ellie?
Ellie, he goes and he rebukes Job's three friends first.
Yeah.
Friends that were like, Job, this, that, whatever.
Oh, he cooked.
No, I'm not gonna lie. They actually were yapping though, like when you read it.
Bro.
And so Elihu rebukes them, and then he rebukes Job, and then he asserts God's justice.
They be yapping, bro. They be yapping, bro.
That was really my first impression, like, blah, blah, blah. I mean, obviously trying to read the Bible, but like, just...
First off, Elihu,
Elihu.
L does not start condemning them until like chapter 32. So imagine.
Yeah.
The whole
Imagine
conversation we're just reading right now.
how much.
Yeah, we're just reading dialogue, yo. Low-key, we should make a play of Job, like...
What?
Like Shakespeare style, like...
That would be funny.
You know, that's not too bad.
That's not too bad.
You got me, I'll share.
We're watching an idea form as we speak.
No, you're too far. You don't have to look at the You're so far away.
My first podcast, yo. So I'm so like out of it right now. I'm like, just,
He's like.
Like I want to look at y'all at the same time. Like
No, the camera's okay. Like the camera's there, but they can't see you. So they're like, who are they talking to?
Gotta give them the...
Well, that's good. That's good. Any last thoughts on Job?
On Job, I had a thought. Like, the thing is, like I said, God like said that this man's blameless. He said it before Satan. Like, yo, try Job because he's blameless. Like, and like, see if he's gonna curse me and die. Because the goal was like for Satan was to get him to like curse him and die. See if we're gonna do it. And it's almost like what speaks to me is that like you can do like everything right, but yet still go through a trial. Like no one's exempt from a trial. No one's exempt from a storm.
For sure.
Like Job literally went through the entire thing. Like everything bad that happened to a person, it happened to Job.
Like that.
Yes, like that. He lost his house, lost the cattle, lost his family in the house.
The devil said, "Bet I'm gonna be at work."
He wasted no time.
Crazy.
And it's just like got worse.
No crumbs.
Sickle cell.
Yes. Hell, like everything now. Now wife is like person to die. What? Like it's all like it's crazy. So it just shows you like you can still be like doing all these right things, but like we're not exempt from a storm. But
I think his kids died too.
Yes.
Yeah.
In the same house that he lost.
Like not one, every single one of his
Every
kids.
single one.
Bro, that's wild. But it's like God is like, because he did that, it's like it just opens our mind like, whoa, what's happening in the spirit? What's happening in the heavens right now? Because this man, Satan, just popped up and said, yo, I was scouring the earth. And God is like, we tried Job? Huh? Randomly? But it just shows you like God knows that, all right, he knows the end point. Satan, he's not like God, he's not God's rival, so he can't see like the end point.
Yeah, he's not.
So God is like, I know Job not gonna curse me and die.
Right.
So like
God knew.
Right. Yeah. I'm gonna allow you, Satan, to do whatever you want. Just don't kill him. And Satan was like, all right, I'm not gonna kill him. So even Satan had to listen. So it's like.
But you see the point of God knowing though. God knew.
Right.
Job didn't know, but God knew. Right. Which is why, because like in that part where the series of yapping with the friends in them, Job was really contemplating. He was like, should I curse him? Should I not? But at the end of the day, he stood his ground. But it just goes to show that like God knows what's happening. But, of course, things in your life are going to interfere. Because I feel like sometimes people are like, well, like, it's God, like, of course he has good things for me. Why are all these bad things happening? But you have to go through a storm to understand. Like, you have to go through a storm to appreciate the sunny days. Like, if it's been raining for a week, you're going to appreciate that sunny day, that nice weather more than if it rained for, like, one day and it's been hot the whole week. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
like these past few weeks, like, we have, like, a big heat wave and finally it rains.
It's like, yay.
Yes. Like,
I mean, when you're working on a camp, it's not yay.
In the hot and the rain, it's not yay.
It's not yay.
I prefer wintertime though, but hey. But like one thing about like the sun and the rain, I remember reading the commentary where it talks about like, I think when Jesus was mentioning about like the lilies and all that, he said something about like, the commentary said like even it even rains on like the flowers,
right?
And if it like just remains sunny all the time, the flowers will shrivel up and just die. So even in storms, there's still like a blessing and like, nourishment in there. Cause
the
like,
storms are needed.
Yeah, because like, if there was no water for the plants, they'll dry. But if there was no sun, then it would just like kind of like drown out the plant. I'm not a gardener. I'm not a gardener, so I would know. But it's either or, both are needed.
No, you're right. Because think about it. If that never happened to Job, he would still be like, "Oh, I'm blameless. I'm righteous. Nothing bad's gonna happen."
That's a fact.
I'm a fatherless to like the people who don't have a father. Like he listed like 3 things of just like I do this, I do this, I do this. God, why? Like
God is there to keep us humble. Like even with the Apostle Paul, like he said, like he had a thorn in his side. We don't know what that thorn was. Like it was just like a thorn sent by Satan, and God. He had asked God 3 times, "Get this thorn from me," and God is like, "No, my grace is sufficient." So sometimes it might just be there to keep us humble. But like again, like
what I say in the intro, but God's grace is sufficient. We may not be perfect, but God's grace is sufficient. Amen.
Sufficient.
Amen.
You just entered a Baptist church. So that was an example.
I'm non-denominational.
We're non-denominational.
What's sufficient in the chat? Right in the text.
Don't even be scared. If you want to come, you can come. We're non-denominational. We don't do that. It was just a joke, guys.
Yeah, word. No, wait, but like, hold on. I just be thinking like, God really chose Job specifically because he knew who he was. Like, it's not like God chose some random person who praises him, who's going through hardship. He chose the one who was blameless, the one who had everything, the one who did his will probably the most at that time.
Yeah.
Like, if you really think about it, the Bible is truth. So if he's saying he's blameless, maybe he actually was blameless. Like, but
if God said it, it's like, who could argue?
Yeah.
But either way, like, there was still that pride and that ego that can't be revealed unless you go through the storm. So sometimes it's like you specifically have to go through the storm in order to actually work on something that wouldn't be revealed otherwise.
Yeah. Is there I guess like the storm, we could say like the storm was there to reveal like, all right, what's in you, or like what's actually going to work in you, or like something that you need to let go of.
Yeah.
Because imagine if you're blessed all the time and God's good all the time, then you don't know what you really have to work on until you're going through hardship, and now your faith is being tested.
Yeah.
That's why, because God knows if I take away one thing, his faith isn't going to be tested enough. Let me take away all of it.
Except his health.
Except his, that.
Nah, even
Even
his help was
like that. Like, bro, like
I've seen the picture. I've seen like the pictures of like
Yes.
what it could be like, and it's just like
bro, it was like
It's
almost like
horrid.
I did action Bible. Almost like it was like spores or something black.
But yeah,
It was-
yeah.
bro. I was like leprosy, bro. I'm like, bro, take me out, man. I'm sorry.
No, but like
It's
seriously.
like, God, I've never seen this disease on anyone.
What is this, God? Like,
What? How does he even get here?
how did I get this off?
Where do I find the cure?
Weird, like, soap isn't even helping.
Lead me to a doctor.
Yeah, so much
That's a fact.
yeah.
That's a fact.
And like one like last like closing thing, like when it came to Job, like the devil like really didn't believe like Job would actually like do the will of God, and the fact that the fact that God still believed that Job was gonna, you know, eventually like actually come to the realization of like what God was like actually trying to like tell him, like we truly we serve a great God and a believing God. Like God believes in us.
Yeah.
So
I'm reading I was kind of reading 2 Timothy, and one of the things that Paul says is these are good sayings, and then he's like, if you believe in me, no, if you die with me or for me, then you will be risen with me. If you deny me, I will deny you. If you're faithless, he is faithful. Christ cannot deny himself, and it's kind of it just like reminds. Well, that's not the whole. I left out one of the parts, but it just reminds you.
I know you're coming from.
Yeah, it just reminds you, like, even when you're faithless, like Job, God is still faithful.
Yeah.
And it's not just he's faithful to be good and give you what you need. He's faithful, so he's believing that you can go through what you're going through. So he not only believes in you, but, all right, so he's not only, like, faithful in keeping his promises to give you what you're asking for. He's faithful in believing that you can endure what you're going through. And so now I'm sitting here thinking about, like, there's two different types of faithfulness. There's faithful in what you're going through, like believing in the person, and faithful as in believing that God can do what he's going to do.
And on that note. No, that was good. That was good.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
good.
yeah.
I like that. Well, thank you guys. The next episode.
Job. Catch up.
Job was great.
That was a cut.
Yeah, that's a cut. Hi guys, thank you for joining us. I hope you guys had a good time. It was nice talking to you guys, and thank you for allowing us to be the ones to teach you.
Stay fearful, stay faithful, stay forgiven. God bless y'all. We love y'all so much. See y'all later.
Bye.